Parenting is one of those topics that stirs up strong feelings. Maybe you're in the thick of it right now, learning and unlearning as you go, or perhaps you've already passed through those turbulent years and are left reflecting on what worked and what didn't. Today, we're diving into the fascinating evolution of parenting styles, how they've shifted with each generation, shaped by their unique struggles and triumphs. From the stern, rule-following approach of the silent generation to the emotionally aware, psychology-backed practices of today, every era leaves its mark on the next. The silent generation, born between 1928 and 1945, lived through some of the most volatile years in modern history. They witnessed the fall of oppressive regimes, the tense grip of the Cold War, and the terrifying rise of nuclear power. Their world was marked by political upheaval and uncertainty. To survive, they often conformed to authority without question. This mindset trickled down into their parenting. Quiet obedience was the goal. Children were expected to follow rules rigidly, and punishment, often physical, was a commonly accepted form of discipline. Life was divided into strict male and female roles, and their children grew up molded by these hierarchies. Then came the baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964, who were raised into relative optimism following World War II. Yet their world was no stranger to turmoil. Vietnam, the civil rights movement, and the countercultural revolution of the 1960s reshaped societal norms. This generation saw women stepping into educational and professional spaces in greater numbers, opening new doors for their children. Boomers wanted more for their kids, urging them to break away from rigid traditions. Freedom was encouraged, but only up to a point. They valued structure alongside the freedom to explore. College education became a must, yet fun and individuality were celebrated in ways their parents had never embraced. Next, we have Generation X, born between 1965 and 1980, often referred to as the MTV generation. They grew up in a world of rapid technological advancements, video games, personal computers, and the early internet, all set against the backdrop of the AIDS crisis and economic volatility. Many experienced both windfalls and losses, creating a generation that understood the fragility of success. With greater gender equality and relative political calm, Gen X parents prioritized individualism in their children. They were more open to alternative lifestyles, encouraging their kids to carve out their own paths, free from the rigidity their grandparents might have enforced. The Millennials, born between 1981 and 1996, were ushered into a world defined by digital connection. Social media brought both excitement and unrelenting comparison. Their formative years were marked by economic crises like the 2008 recession and later, the COVID-19 pandemic. Therapy and emotional awareness became cultural cornerstones for this generation, sparking a critique of how boomers raised them. Millennials have fewer children, often by choice, and those who do parent have gravitated toward a new approach: gentle parenting. This isn't just a buzzword, it's a fundamental shift in how many view discipline, emotions, and the parent-child dynamic. Where previous generations leaned on punishment to correct bad behavior, gentle parenting aims to teach children how to manage their emotions and understand the impact of their AC tie-ins. It's rooted in preparation, communication, and context. Imagine you're taking your child to a birthday party. Gentle parenting suggests preparing them beforehand. There will be lots of kids at the party, so let's talk about sharing toys. What will you do if someone takes a toy from you? And sweets, they're fun, but can make us cranky. So let's agree to have just 4. Can you count to 4? This level of dialogue might seem excessive to some, but children understand far more than we often assume. By laying the groundwork, they're better equipped to handle situations, even if they don't always follow through perfectly. Psychologists argue that gentle parenting fosters confident, emotionally healthy children. Matthew Sanders, a clinical psychology professor, has spent decades studying this approach. In the 1980s, he piloted a coaching program for parents of preschoolers with behavioral issues. His findings were groundbreaking. Children whose parents adopted these strategies showed significant reductions in what was then classified as deviant behavior. Over time, he expanded his research to schools, clinics, and public health initiatives, eventually formalizing the gentle parenting framework in 2001. The core principles are simple yet transformative. Meet children's basic needs for nutrition, sleep, and hygiene, then focus on encouragement over punishment. Discipline isn't about control, it's about teaching. Children are given autonomy appropriate to their developmental stage, encouraging them to take responsibility for themselves in age-appropriate ways. One of the most powerful insights from this approach is the role of parental attention. For children, any attention, positive or negative, can feel validating. Yelling might stop the behavior temporarily, but it can leave children fearful and disconnected. Gentle parenting emphasizes emotional regulation for both parents and children, creating a home environment built on trust and mutual respect. Still, the approach isn't without its critics. We're seeing a concerning rise in anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem among children and teens today. Is this a side effect of gentle parenting, or are these issues tied to other factors, like the omnipresence of social media or heightened awareness of mental health challenges? Or perhaps it's the mounting pressure to raise perfect kids in an imperfect world. The truth is, no parenting style is flawless. Every generation faces unique challenges, and every parent makes mistakes. What matters most is the willingness to learn, adapt, and make amends when we falter. Parenting isn't about perfection, it's about connection. The journey is messy and unpredictable, but it's also profoundly human. At the end of the day, whether you lean into gentle parenting or follow another path, the key lies in showing up, learning as you go, and being willing to grow alongside your children. After all, the best lessons are often the ones we learn together. And until the next chapter unfolds, may we all find ways to nurture those connections and build brighter tomorrows.